Singapore became a magnet by design. It aligned capital and labour, slowly, deliberately, without sentiment. Capital comes for predictability. Contracts are enforced, taxes stay stable, courts are fast and quiet, no drama. Labour comes for clarity. Roles are stratified by design. High skill gets visas and services, mid skill gets contracts and housing, low skill gets access, not belonging. Wealth is protected, labour is necessary, not loved, useful. Transparency stands in for fairness, legibility beats kindness. Everyone knows the rules, everyone knows the exit. This city pulls money and people as inputs, not as citizens. That is the machine. Wealth is not loyal. It doesn't care about flags or history. It cares about one thing: stability. Singapore understood this while other countries were busy arguing with themselves. While others chased growth with slogans, Singapore focused on risk elimination, not reduction, elimination. Global capital looks for failure points, where emotion overrides rules or politics rewrites promises. Singapore spent decades removing those weak points. No sudden capital controls, no theatrical tax revolutions, no populist raids on the rich. Instead, it offered something deeply unsexy and therefore extremely powerful: administrative boredom. Rules are clear. Enforcement is consistent. Courts are dull, efficient, and incorruptible. To ordinary people, this feels sterile. To wealth, it feels like oxygen. Compare this with places where politicians scapegoat wealth in bad times, where tax codes become weapons, and success must apologize for existing. Money watches that behavior carefully. Then it leaves. Singapore never asked capital to love the country. It asked capital to trust the system. That trust was reinforced with infrastructure that sends a constant signal. This city will function even if you are not watching. Airports that work, ports that don't strike, power grids that don't collapse. Wealth does not need warmth, it needs continuity. This is why Singapore attracts not just entrepreneurs, but old money, family offices, and asset custodians whose primary goal is survival. They come not because Singapore promises the highest returns, but because it promises the lowest surprises. Singapore did not steal wealth from other countries. Those countries pushed it away by politicizing capital and confusing stability with stagnation. Singapore simply stayed quiet, competent, and open for business. In a chaotic world, silence backed by systems is irresistible. This is how Singapore became a vault disguised as a city. And once wealth feels safe, something else follows automatically: labor. People often ask the wrong question about Singapore. Why would anyone move to a place that doesn't even pretend to welcome them? That question reveals a luxury mindset. Foreign workers come because clarity beats comfort when survival is on the line. Singapore does not sell dreams. It sells contracts. You will work. You will be paid. You will follow the rules. You will leave when the arrangement ends. For millions, this is not cold. It is refreshingly honest. In many countries, foreign labor is wrapped in moral language. You are welcome. You belong. Until unemployment rises or elections approach, then the welcome evaporates. Singapore never stages that performance. It never tells foreign workers they are family. It tells them they are necessary. And necessity, unlike affection, survives economic cycles. For workers, the calculation is rational. Remittances matter more than dignity theatre. Stability beats chaos. In return, the city delivers something rare: predictable exploitation. That phrase makes people uncomfortable, but it is preferable to arbitrary suffering. There is no emotional bait and switch. Dignity without income does not pay school fees. Slogans do not build houses back home. Singapore does not offer a story, it offers a transaction. And in a world where labor is disposable, that transaction has gravity. Most cities fail by asking incompatible groups to share the same emotional contract. Singapore avoids this by separating emotional expectations from economic roles. Wealth is not asked to be virtuous. Labour is not asked to feel included. Both are asked to behave. This is the silent agreement at the core of the city. Capital gets protection and predictability. In return, it stays quiet, compliant, and taxable. Labour gets access and income. In return, labour delivers reliability. This separation prevents resentment spirals. Wealth does not feel hunted. Labour does not feel betrayed by promises that were never made. The social contract is thin, transactional, and brutally clear. And thin contracts break less often than thick lies. The city relies on mutual usefulness. And usefulness, unlike belonging, can be measured, managed, and replaced. Singapore's model is not free. It extracts a price that does not show up in GDP charts. The cost is emotional depth. People do not fall in love with Singapore easily. They optimize around it. They use it. Citizens understand that stability is earned through discipline, not expression. Foreigners learn that comfort here is conditional. The city hums, it does not sing. This creates a peculiar emptiness beneath the efficiency. Friendships are transient, and belonging is thin. And yet, the model spreads, because the alternative is worse. Cities that promise warmth without structure often collapse. Cities that protect labour without productivity run out of money. Singapore avoided these traps. That is why governments quietly study it. They borrow the visa systems, the tax logic, and the legal frameworks. But what they fail to copy is the hardest part, the willingness to disappoint people up front. Singapore never told its population, "You will feel fulfilled here." It told them, "You will be safe, employed, and governed competently." In an era of overpromising, that restraint is a competitive advantage. This is why global wealth keeps arriving. Not because Singapore is exciting, but because it is boring in exactly the right ways. It's why foreign workers keep coming. Not because they are embraced, but because they are paid and protected from chaos. The city functions because it refuses to confuse morality with mechanics. It operates like infrastructure, cold, reliable, unsentimental. As the world grows more unstable, cities that offer emotional narratives will struggle. Cities that offer systems will win. Singapore chose systems over stories. That choice built a magnet powerful enough to pull in both money and people, even when neither is asked to stay forever. And that, uncomfortable as it is, may be the most honest urban strategy of the 21st century.